Hello students, welcome to iQuanta. In this series of videos, we are going to discuss the basics of geometry and we are also going to discuss basics problems based on those theories. इससे आपको ज्योमेट्री पे अपनी पकड़ बनाने में काफ़ी ज़्यादा हेल्प मिलने वाली है and after some practice you can excel. So let's start with properties of triangles. So in a triangle, there are three vertices, vertex A, vertex B, and vertex C. Angle BAC we can call angle A. BAC we can call angle A. Angle ABC we can call this as angle B. And then angle ACB we can call this as angle C. So in that case, the first property of triangle is sum of all the interior angles of a triangle is equal to 180 degree. Now let's try to understand the reason behind it. If I draw a line which is parallel to BC, let's say this line segment is DE. Now, what did we learn in the first video where we had discussed about lines and angles, that if there are two parallel lines, there is a transversal line. Okay, so all the acute angles created will be equal. So can we say if this angle is theta, this angle will also be theta. Similarly, if this angle is alpha, this angle will also be alpha, right? And if this angle is gamma, then this triangle, the sum of all three angles will be equal to theta plus alpha plus gamma. As you can see, sum of these three angles are nothing but a straight angle, which is nothing but 180 degree. So that's how we get this. Apart from this, there is another property of triangle which is known as exterior angle properties. Let's say this point is F. Then what do we know? That angle ACF, angle ACF will be equal to angle BAC plus angle ABC. This is known as exterior angle properties, meaning the exterior angle of a triangle is equal to sum of two opposite interior angles. This angle C is adjacent to this, so we won't count this. Rest of the two angles of this triangle will be opposite interior angle with respect to this angle. So that's why we call it opposite interior angles. Now, next, if we talk about the relation between the angles, so if angle B is equal to angle C, then we can say that their corresponding opposite sides will be equal, like AC will be equal to AB and vice versa is also true. Angle B is equal to angle C. So side length opposite to B is AC, side length opposite to C is AB. These two will be equal. But if angle B is greater than angle C, then we can say that AC will be greater than AB. If one angle is greater than other angle, then the side length opposite to first angle will be greater than the second angle. All right. Apart from that, if we talk about properties of sides in a triangle, so what can we say? So first, you should know that in triangle ABC, side length BC is denoted as A, side length AC is denoted as B, and side length AB is denoted as C. So properties of sides says that sum of any two side must be greater than the third. Means A plus B will be greater than C, A plus C will be greater than B, and B plus C will be greater than A. Apart from that, we can also say that the absolute difference, means the positive difference between any two sides must be less than the third. Means A minus C mod must be less than B. A minus B mod must be less than C, and B minus C mod must be less than A. So these are the properties of sides in a triangle. Now, what will be the perimeter of this triangle? Can we say perimeter of this triangle will be equal to A plus B plus C, which is equal to P. And if the sides of this triangle A is greater than equal to B is greater than equal to C, means A is the largest side possible, then the relation we get between perimeter of a triangle and the largest side is this. Means the largest side will always be greater than equal to 1/3 of the perimeter and less than half of the perimeter. So this is very important point. Do you know the reason why this happens? If you know the reason, let me know in the comment. We can derive it from these concepts only. Okay. Now, you can check all the points that we discussed here. Point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Point 1, triangle has 3 sides, 3 angles and 3 vertices. Point 2, sum of all interior angles of a triangle is always equal to 180 degree. Third point, the sum of lengths of any two sides of a triangle is greater than the third side. The difference between any two sides must be less than the third side. Then we learned about the relation between angles and sides. If any angle is largest out of 3 angles, then the side opposite to that angle will be the largest of all 3. And the last point, which says any exterior angle of a triangle is equal to sum of its two opposite interior angles. I hope that part is clear, right? If you have any doubts here, let me know. Now, let's go to the first question. It says, can a triangle have sides of lengths 2 cm, 5 cm and 8 cm? बताओ possible है या नहीं है? What do we know about properties of triangle? That sum of any two sides must be less than the third. If we check this, 2 cm and 5 cm, sum is 7 cm, which should be greater than the third side, but it's less than the third side, which is 8 cm. So our answer is no. These three side lengths are not possible in a triangle. Second question, if the two sides of the triangle are 8 cm and 12 cm, find the number of possible integral values of the third side of the triangle. Now let's say third side is x. Our third side is x. So what we can say with the properties of sides of a triangle, that any side must be greater than the absolute difference between the other two sides and less than the absolute difference between the two, absolute sum of the two sides. So in that case, we can say x must be greater than 4 and less than 20. That means x could be 5, 6, 7 till 19. So how many different integral values of x are possible from 5 to 19? So 19 minus 4, total 15 values are possible. 15 values of x. That is our answer. Third question, it says if the two sides of the triangle are 10 centimeter and 15 centimeter, then which of the following options is not the perimeter of the given triangle? So what do we know about the third side? If we take the third side is x, then it must be greater than the absolute difference between these two sides, which is 5, must be less than the sum of these two sides, means 25. And what will be our perimeter P? P will be equal to 10 plus 15 plus x, which is equal to 25 plus x. So in that case, if I add 25 So it will become 30 is less than 25 plus x, which is less than 50. Or we can say perimeter P is greater than 30 and less than 50. So if we check the options, 36 is within 30 to 50, 45 is within 30 to 50, 30 is not in this range, 48 is possible. So our answer is option C. Now, next question, it says in the given figure, AP is equal to PD, AP is equal to PD, which is equal to QD, which is equal to QE, which is equal to BE, and BE is equal to BC. Find the value of X. It's a very interesting question. It's a replica of one very good question जो CAT में आया था काफी पहले, but still it has its own charm. So you can try solving this question, okay? Then check the solution. Now, I am going forward and discussing this. If this angle is 10, what do we know? AP is equal to PD. So can we say if two sides are equal, their opposite angles will be equal. So this angle will also be 10 degree. Now, in triangle APD, this angle DPQ is nothing but exterior angle of this triangle, which should be equal to sum of two opposite interior angles. So 10 plus 10, 20. Now if this is 20, this will also be 20. Why? Because PD is equal to QD. Again, check in triangle ADQ. In ADQ, angle D is nothing but exterior angle, which will be equal to sum of angle AQD plus angle QAD, sum of two opposite interior angles. So 20 plus 10, it will be 30. Now it's given that QD is equal to QE. So this angle will also be equal to 30 degree. Now again, in triangle AQE, this angle BQE is nothing but exterior angle of this triangle AQE. So this angle should be equal to 30 plus 10, 40 degree. And if this is 40, QE is equal to B. So this angle will also be 40 degree. Again, in triangle ABE, focus on triangle ABE, angle BEC is nothing but exterior angle, which will be equal to sum of two opposite interior angles. So angle QBE 40 plus angle BAE 10. So this will be equal to 50 degree. And if this is 50, BE is equal to BC, this will also be 50. What do we need to find? We need to find angle X. What do we know? That sum of all the interior angles of a triangle is equal to 180 degree. So we can write 50 degree plus 50 degree plus x degree is equal to 180 degree. Or we can say x degree is equal to 180 minus 100, which is 80 degree, right? And that is your answer. Okay. Now, let's go to the next question, which says, what is the lowest perimeter of the triangle if sides of the triangle are different integers? Again, one very interesting question जो आपको पहले खुद से ट्राई करना चाहिए, फिर सॉल्यूशन चेक करना चाहिए. यहाँ दिया हुआ है कि तीन साइड लेंथ्स हैं, A which must be greater than B, which must be greater than C. If there are three sides, all are distinct values. तो कोई ना कोई तो सबसे बड़ा होगा, कोई ना कोई तो सबसे छोटा होगा, कोई ना कोई वैल्यू उन दोनों के बीच में होगी. This is the relation that we get. Now in that case, what do we know? That if A is greatest side, then A must be greater than 1/3 of the perimeter and must be less than half of the perimeter. Don't forget that. अच्छा, यहाँ कुछ लोग सोच रहे होंगे कि इक्वल टू का साइन नहीं दिया. इक्वल टू तब होगा जब तीनों साइड लेंथ इक्वल है. मतलब अगर साइड लेंथ 30 है तो 10 10 10 1/3 के बराबर होगी जो ग्रेटेस्ट साइड होगी. बट यहाँ पे साइड्स तो इक्वल है नहीं, ऑल आर डिस्टिंक्ट, सो नन ऑफ दीज साइड्स विल बी, sorry, not none of, the greatest side cannot be equal to 1/3 of the perimeter. तो चलो आगे देखते हैं, स्मॉलेस्ट सम क्या पॉसिबल है a प्लस बी प्लस सी की, अगर तीन डिस्टिंक्ट इंटीजर लें तो अगर स्मॉलेस्ट तो 1 2 3 है, 6 है, बट ये तो ट्रायंगल नहीं है, सम ऑफ एनी टू साइड्स मस्ट बी ग्रेटर देन द थर्ड, 2 + 1 3 है, विच इज नॉट ग्रेटर देन द थर्ड, नॉट पॉसिबल। इसके बाद क्या ले सकते हैं, 7 ले सकते हैं। तो अगर हम 7 लें तो देखो perimeter is 7, then a must be greater than 7/3 and must be less than 7/2. 7/3 is 2 point something, 7/2 is 3.5. So a must be, in that case only option possible is a is 3. If a is 3, then there are only options left, which is b is 2 and c is 1, because all three are different integer. But यहाँ तो perimeter फिर से 6 आ रहा है, 7 तो आ नहीं रहा, तो ये भी पॉसिबल नहीं है। Now if we are taking perimeter is equal to 8, if you take perimeter is equal to 8, then the greatest side must be greater than 8/3, must be less than 8/2. Again 8/3 is 2 point something, 2.66 to be precise, and must be less than 4. Again we get a is equal to 3. If you take a is equal to 3, we don't have any other option but to take b is equal to 2, c is equal to 1. Again perimeter is not 8 but 6, which is not possible. So 8 is also not possible, this is not possible. But if we take p is equal to 9, in that case the greatest side a must be greater than 9/3, must be less than 9/2. 9/3 is 3, 9/2 is 4.5. So the only value for a that we get is 4. If a is 4, we can take b is equal to 3 and we can take c is equal to 2. Sum of any two side is greater than the third. The absolute difference between any two sides are less than third. So all the properties of triangles are satisfied here, right? So that is our answer. What is our answer? Lowest perimeter. So our answer is 9 units. Okay. So with that, we are done with this session. Okay. I will come back with further concepts and questions on the basics of geometry. So next video is going to be on triangles again. I hope you enjoyed these questions and the solutions. If you have any feedback, then let me know in the comment.